beautiful and beloved wife, Rachel.
Hello.
Together we comprise Talking with Famous People. And we want to say hello to you today on this live stream titled Those Darn Scientologists. As you may or may not know, I'm a fan of Block A and AA Ron. AA Ron. I'm a fan of AA Ron of the Scientology channel, Growing Up Scientology, which obviously makes you understand that Scientologists are horrible. And he recently got a privacy complaint for exposing a couple of Scientology agents.
Who did?
AA Ron from the channel Growing Up Scientology.
Really?
Yeah. Hi, Mean Bird. And he was like, haha, too bad for you. It only all you successfully did was get the video blocked in Austria and the Netherlands or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, so I checked the link to see if it worked here, and it does. Have I started my blue sky counting? I don't know what blue sky counting is. It is blue skies right now. It was snowing like crazy earlier. Big monster you got? Okay. Sure. I don't know if any of you guys watch Noel Phillips, but he's this guy who travels around a lot, around the world, and makes videos like, everyone abandoning Twitter and installing Blue Sky accounts. Oh, well, I've not even heard of it before. So it's not called Twitter anymore, Jonathan Earl. It's called X.
What is Blue Sky?
Must be like a Twitter alternative.
Oh,
I'm guessing.
that was smart. It's better than calling it X.
Yeah. I did watch the first episode of Continuum, and I think I may even watch the second episode of it. I plan to go back to it and pick up where I left off, but, Okay, Jonathan Carpenter, just keep it in your pants, bro. I mean, seriously. I appreciate that, Jonathan Earl. I'm in the same camp as you. I will never call it X. It's called Twitter, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Do you want a bottom riff, Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull on this one.
Just get ready, everyone, for some coughing. I don't have the lungs that Eric has.
Yeah, pretty much the only person who's got my lungs is Spacey.
Spacey, yeah.
He can pull bong riffs that even I couldn't pull, probably.
Thank you.
So, it's like the Staples Center or the Blockbuster Pavilion. I'll never call them by any other name. Is Staples Center not called Staples Center anymore? It's not still 38 degrees. But yeah, we went in town earlier than we might have today because when I got up at like 11:30 or something, it was snowing, crazy snows all around, and I was afraid that we were going to get snowed in maybe. But by the time we got back home from the town, all the snow had melted away. It says we're going to get rain at 3 p.m., a little bit of rain. You think it's the crypto.com, whatever? It might be. Might have changed its name. So anyway, today's the first day of Adderall, which means I got my new bottle today. And that means, of course, that we're live streaming.
Yeah.
And we probably will be for quite a long time.
That's like almost certain.
I may begin doing some cleaning here as I stream. Who knows? I think you'll probably get handed off back and forth to me and Rachel on a couple of different occasions today.
Sure.
Yeah. You know. So you can expect a wide-ranging and interesting or boring, depending on your perspective, live stream. What do I think about Tyson versus Jake? I think it's well, I mean, it's a money grab. It's a money grab for both of them. Tyson probably needs the money grab a little bit more than Jake Paul does, but I can't deny that I'm not gonna buy the fight, but I kind of want to. So it's successful. If it gets me to kind of want to buy the fight, then it's very successful exhibition because it's not even a real fight. They've got all these rules to make it like less real or something.
They said that Tyson's like nervous about going against Jake Paul.
Of course, he's older than I am.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. How old is he? Let me see. I will explain the difference between TE and TI and how both can submit to toxic government. Well, I mean, the thing is, TI expects the processes of law and government to do as they're supposed to, So TI can accept injustice as long as it's attained through the proper legitimate mechanisms. Whereas TE is likely to say, I don't like injustice, so I'm going to ruin the integrity of the system to get the results I want. In both cases, injustice is tolerated, but for different reasons and in different methodologies. I think TE is much more dangerous to autonomy than TI is. Let's see. I'm going to Google how old is Mike Tyson. 58. Yeah, so he's 5 years older than I am. Jake Paul is fighting like a 60-year-old guy. Are you serious, Jake Paul?
Like really kind of ridiculous.
Are you serious? Hello, Temporal Teleporter. Nice to see you. Jamie Clark agrees that he's 58 years old, which will take the microchip, TE or TI, and why. Why both? Why neither? That's more of an end thing, I think. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with a microchip as long as it makes my life more convenient. I don't have any interest in privacy. I think privacy is a false virtue. It's actually not a virtue at all, except obviously you need to maintain privacy on your financial shit so that nobody defrauds you, steals your money or whatever. But the idea of keeping a lot of stuff private, it typically happens with people who are engaged in nefarious activities. People who are engaged in nothing wrong at all don't seem to want to necessarily be super private. I mean, some of them do, but the point is, you're not entitled to privacy. Privacy, you have an expectation of. It's either a reasonable or an unreasonable expectation of privacy. You don't have any right to it. And I personally don't care about it. Everybody can know everything and does know, if they watch this channel, does know absolutely everything about my life. I talk about basically everything.
Yeah.
Targeted individual? No, not TI targeted individual. TI stands for introverted thinking. It's a cognitive function discussion. What's the difference between introverted thinking and extroverted thinking? And the difference between the two is introverted thinking is about logical consistency and correctness, legitimacy. Extroverted thinking is about efficiency and getting from A to B. How to get from what you want to getting what you to attaining it. Hi, Mr. X. Are we playing Oregon Trail again? I don't think so. Because you know what? Frankly, Oregon Trail is too easy. It's very easy. Even when we rested all those days, we still only killed 2 people.
I was gonna say we had 2 people die.
But we had to rest we had to leave the exact wrong time of year, and rest all those days. Is efficiency pointless if you lose your power though? Well, I mean, the thing is, that's one of the problems with efficiency is that it can ignore the damage that it does to the integrity of a system, which then causes more net harms for the person's desired outcomes than are improved by the TE. That's a risk that TE takes, and TI is there to balance it out and say, Hey, no, we're not just about efficiency, we're also about correctness. Here's my beautiful wife.
Hello,
This is my beautiful
Acacia.
wife. No, I'm not going to tell my wife to moon the camera thread. Ah, gosh.
That's a good technique. How about Oregon Trail? First one to die wins.
Well, you just have to not feed anybody and not get any food, you know?
Yeah.
You have to make it first one to die, to lose the most people on the way without any of them dying of starvation. You have to feed them at least the meager rations.
Yeah, you do.
Meager rations and a grueling pace is a good way to die. But you also want to take a long time to get there, so you have plenty of opportunities to get bit by snakes and break your arm and die of cholera and stuff. Acacia, hello, hello. We were saying today how we think that you and Ruben would have enjoyed being in the other house today when the snow was coming down because it has a fireplace.
Yeah, at this point, if you guys come to visit, like, I don't know, I feel like the house is going to be open for you guys if you decide to come around Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have things set up
No.
for rental there. So
and we're seriously considering just getting a property management to do it. Or doing it month to month because
yeah.
I just don't really love the idea of us having super like I'm looking forward to maybe getting a job at the bootjack market, which would mean that there'd be days where Rachel would have to be responsible for getting up, driving a little car over there, cleaning the house and stuff, and I just don't.
Even my mom, like even my mom, who like she's happy that we got the house, was like, have you guys looked into property management? Yeah, because she's like, even if they do take like 20 or 30%, it's so much better than taking care of it yourself.
Large cameraman, hello. I have said your name. I hope that pleases you. Congratulations. Your name has been said. So, obviously, then what will I get in dinner if we come over for Christmas? Mr. X, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Acacia. Acacia and Ruben are our friends who visited us on a few occasions before.
Yeah, and they their first visit was last year around Christmas time, so that's why we were talking about it.
Yeah, it was crazy big snowflakes coming down earlier today.
Yeah, you guys would have enjoyed it.
And then just a couple hours later, it's all melted away. Why do people have so much faith in Elon Musk?
Oh.
Generally, people put too much faith into people who attain impressive outcomes in things. Just because you can attain impressive outcomes in some area, like for Elon Musk, it's business. I guess you'd say making companies, and sometimes buying and ruining companies, as with Twitter. But people afford too much weight onto significant outcomes when measuring the general competency or worthiness of somebody. Because the reality from a TI perspective, from an introvert thinking perspective, a logical perspective, is that you've got to be negationary in default. The default is to take no action rather than to take any action. So you have mods on this live of yours. Did you pay them for this, or is this free? No, I don't pay any mods. Some people, it's like most of the people who are mods are old time people, and I made them mods maybe originally just so they could post a link because they wanted to post a link, and then they didn't fuck up, so they're still mods, But generally, my mods don't do a whole lot unless it's something really obvious that is just a waste of time, and no, it's definitely not a paid position. Don't try to Bukowski things. I won't. Don't worry. I'm not going to Bukowski anything because I don't drink alcohol anymore. I quit drinking coming up on nearly 11 years ago now. I pay Acacia $10,000 an hour to be on a moderator. It's pretty good money.
That is pretty good money.
Will the dark side of technology take over? I don't think there is a dark side of technology per se like that. It's just, you've got people who use technology
Well,
for nefarious ends like scammers and like,
bombs and stuff.
fraud people and stuff like that. Well, I don't think of bombs as tech.
Well, that's true, but Sandy's boyfriend Justin was saying that he knows someone who tests AI and goes around to different countries to teach them about the dangers of AI.
Who do I think will win in today's boxing match, Tyson or Paul?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah, it is. Oh, okay. So you're just talking about Bukowski's essay about not trying. Well, the thing is, Bukowski was a serious alcoholic. And so you got to take into account that the things he writes are written from the perspective of someone who's given up fighting his alcoholism and has just decided to try to embrace it in as artistically meaningful a way as possible. Kevin says it might not be 12 inches long, but it smells like a foot. Okay, well, that's great, Kevin. Hopefully you're talking about your foot. Um, there is already AI colleges funded by Trump to brainwash the empty pyramids, emphasize. I wouldn't worry about that, Ernesto. But yeah, Trump is not going to be particularly successful in any kind of meaning level work like that. He just doesn't operate like that. Yeah, he was a lifelong raging alcoholic, and it sucks. Sucks for him. Sucks for anybody who's like that, who has to deal with that. It's suffering beyond all measure.
It seems like a lot of writers are alcoholics.
Yeah, well, like Hemingway, I think was. Jack
Yeah.
London certainly was.
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald was. Nathaniel West probably was. Um, yeah. So I think Bukowski. It wasn't exactly also that he didn't try. He did make some effort to get his writings published, to get some people to read his writings. Hunter S. Thompson, I don't think was an alcoholic, but he might have been. He was a general drug addict. He may have been an alcoholic as well. Do we live in a multiverse? No. I think that's a nonsense idea. It's just because we can conceptualize other universes doesn't mean that there's any reason to believe other universes exist other than conceptually. And that's really the only justification for multiple universes is that we can conceive of them. People like to talk about different dimensions, but they just don't know what dimension means. You can, like, basically, a dimension is a quality that's measured as on or off in a thing. Is one kind of dimension, or as somewhere on a spectrum is another kind of dimension. Like when we're using dimensions, we're measuring things, right? Length of something just refers to one way that we can measure it. We could also say it has a dimension of color. So it's not just has length, depth, width, it also has color. There's 4 dimensions now, right? It also has weight. There's 5 dimensions now. People don't think of those things as being dimensions because they're not measured with the same tool, but they're still dimensions. They're aspects we can measure. That's all dimensions are. And so accordingly, the idea that something is coming from other dimensions is insane.
So, do you think that all of Carl Jung's work is questioned because of all the, like, okay, his study of cognitive functions, which I think he got right, people disqualify.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He had the basic idea right, but in his explication of it, he's very NI, and not very TI, which means he's saying things that are kind of like archetypal, but
Yeah.
not really justifiable with TI.
That's why like a lot of people discredit him because of those archetypes and stuff. I mean, of course,
He needed an ENTP friend to work with him.
yeah, to ground him. But he worked with Freud. What was Freud?
I mean, I don't know what Freud was, but given his fixation on sex, I'm guessing he might be some kind of censor.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, I'm from England, so your accent sounds a bit strange to me, but that's okay. Well, thanks, Andy. Thanks, appreciate that.
I thought it's okay.
A universe is made for everywhere decision you make or don't make wild thought. I'm not sure what that means. Another dimension, new galaxy, intergalactic, planetary. Oh, are those Beastie Boys lyrics? Yeah, people assert that.
Oh, I have to go bathroom.
People assert a lot of dessert at the end of their meal. People assert a lot of dessert at the end of their meal. What's your opinion about INTJs? Are they really good at planning? I think they're really good at getting what they want. If I do a personality test, how do I know I won't mess it up depending on how I feel at the time? Well, most personality tests that you can take, in fact, all of them basically, are very unreliable. The only way to accurately type somebody is like to spend an hour asking them questions and hearing their answers, testing certain kinds of skills, etc. That's how I type somebody, and I can't always figure out exactly what type they are for sure. But usually, and most of the time, I can get it exactly down to one type within an hour. How much control do we have over reality? What's ECT? Trouble's accent sounds a bit strange to you, but beautiful. Trouble has a good accent. So I'll tell you this, Wellbutrin, they prescribe it to people to quit smoking. That's not why I've been prescribed it. I've been prescribed it as an antidepressant. It was Jung that made up the cognitive functions. You mean ETC of that topic? Like etc.? Etc. is ETC, if you mean etc., not ECT. If it's just a dyslexic, etc., that's fine. I understand what you mean. I will get back to your question when I go back in the other room and can read it. But unfortunately, right now I don't have my glasses. I don't remember exactly what the question was. So I'm going to just put this. We have to watch the cat. This is one of the duties that is required sometimes of all the viewers here on Talking with Fin People, because the cat, basically, he won't shut up until you watch him eat. It feels like he's entitled to this because he watches me go to the bathroom. You're my biggest FN. What's my biggest FN? Yeah, this is my cat named Trouble. And you know, one thing that Rachel told me, and I've noticed ever since, is that when cats have their tails like this in the form of a question mark, it means they're happy. And they got them curled like that. So he's happy right now. I think he kind of doesn't like eating this food right there when this copy is on, which it is right now. Because he's probably like, hey, that's making noises. I don't like those noises. I know, what crazy good eating skills at Trouble. Trouble, you deserve that praise. You deserve all the praise and all the admiration. He's so happy because he knows it's not just me watching him eat. It's 12 other people or 11 other people. What watch are you wearing? Oh, it's a Timex watch that I got from the internet for like $50 or something. It's a cheap watch. I get one of these cheap watches, it seems like about every 3 to 5 years. The waterproof, because I never take it off, so I wear it in the shower and stuff. The waterproofness of it wears off after like 3 to 5 years, and then it starts getting some moisture that you see on the inside of the glass of it, and then you know, okay, it's just you're days away from it breaking. Then you have to get a new one. Look, TE is a way of figuring out things, the unique logic of things that have a unique logic. So language does not have a unique logic. Everyone has to apply the same logic with language because statement connectives mean something specific. If then means something specific, and means something specific, or means something specific. So the logic of language is universal. We can determine whether like, if somebody says, all pigs oink and I oink, so I'm a pig, we know that that's not a valid argument structurally. It doesn't really matter what words we put in there. All meows meow, all meows meow, I'm meow, therefore I'm a meow, is just as invalid for exactly the same reason. So the logic of language is universal. But most things in life don't apply that universal logic. They aren't communicative in nature. The refrigerator has a different logic than the stove. How to attain this goal of mine has a different logic than how to attain that goal of mine. So what TE is figuring those out, figuring those unique logics out. TI is also dealing with logics that are external to them, at least some of the time. And both things can probably internally be done without the actual thing in front of you, regardless. So it's a mistake. The idea of extroverted and introverted, those are bad words to use for functions. I wish Jung hadn't used them because they're misleading. So I can use introverted thinking on things that you say that are words on the screen outside of me, right? And we can both agree that if I type these words into here, this argument, that it's valid or invalid universally. Because that's how communicative logic works. But other things have their own logic. This chair that rolls around has its own logic. Its logic is very annoying because I'll explain to you why. The chair is supposed to roll, but after you roll it a few times, these things here, I don't know if you can see them. These wheels have these things on them. These lock things, right? But after you roll it around a few times, sometimes they just start lock by themselves. I don't know why. I don't know what makes that happen exactly. But it's obviously a design flaw. So whoever was designing that, their goal was to have a chair that easily rolled, but you could also lock it so it didn't roll. But instead, because what they didn't account for is somebody who wants to frequently roll it back and forth without ever sitting on it, even, or just because I put my feet up on it usually. So it doesn't work optimally for my purposes because of that reality that sometimes if you roll it enough, those things will just lock themselves.
I'm gonna call my dad since it's been so long since I've talked to him.
Yeah, I should call it loud at some point too. No, TE wants to achieve its own goals. TE and FI are linked for a reason. FI tells you what you want, TE tells you how to get it. FE and TI are linked for the same reason. FE communicates with people in ways that make sure they're emotionally attended to. And, in other words, they make sure that they're friendly and socially graceful. Sure that what is being said is correct against the universal logic. So that's how TE and TI work. Promise me you'll take care of her with your life. Oh yeah, I take care of her with my life already. I take care of her like nobody's ever taken care of anybody. Is he consuming cat food or the other way around? He eats so much food, it's crazy. He's such a big cat, Our other cat eats a fraction of the amount of food that he eats. You are a cat lover, man, so no evil can harm you until the cat is with you. So never believe if someone says your house has bad spirit and you need to change it. Oh, we don't believe that this house has a bad spirit. We think this house has a good spirit in general. And we also burn these things sometimes. These are like make the spirits go away things or whatever. Rachel's into that stuff. You burn this and it makes all this bad spirits go away. So do the introverted functions take action? No. The real difference between the introverted and extroverted functions is the introverted functions are epistemics and the extroverted functions are forms of action. Okay? Forms of knowing, deciding, and forms of action. The two forms of action are action, which is extroverted intuition, the kind of action I'm doing right now. Extroverted sensing, the kind of action like digging a hole that you want dug, and completing a task, checking it off a list, extrovert sensing kind of action. And then there's interface actions, extrovert thinking, which is a way of managing with systems that have unique logics, and extrovert feeling, which is a way of managing a system that has a universal logic. It has a universal logic both emotionally and logically, which is to say everybody basically has the same emotional things going on socially when dealing with other people. There's matters of hierarchy or rank, there's matters of respect, disrespect, there's matters of feeling included or excluded, there's matters of being treated kindly or cruelly. You can tell whether somebody is satisfied in a situation with a group of people or dissatisfied. No, TI doesn't seek things, right? Introvert thinking evaluates the correctness of statements first and foremost. It checks for inconsistencies with what is already known and with what the person themselves has already said or something. So, on the other hand, extrovert thinking does not deal with language. It deals with things other than language. It deals with solving problems that are actual problems, not symbolic problems. You might say math is generally more TI than TE because it's a symbolic language thing, right? But you wouldn't say that running a business is more of a TI thing. Running a business logic is very TE, right? I don't know if you want to call it logic per se, but the practical realities of running a business, that requires you to keep a lot of moving pieces in place and make sure that you're continuing to generate a profit and etc. No, TI doesn't solve internal problems and TE doesn't solve external problems. I could extrovertedly think my way through solving a problem I'm having emotionally. Like, I seem to be saying a lot of negative things to myself recently. I wonder if I am getting depressed or something. Maybe I should talk to a therapist about this. That's TEing, okay? You have a problem and you're figuring out how to solve it inside of your head. TI, right now, I'm evaluating your statement and I'm explaining why your question is, it's really a statement with a question mark, is wrong because you're misunderstanding the nature of introvert thinking and extrovert thinking. Extrovert thinking is a way of solving real problems. Introvert thinking is a way of checking for legitimacy or validity. Both those things can be internal or external. Forget the E and the I thing. It's very misleading, the introverted extroverted thing. Introverted sensing can be activated by another person. For example, somebody going like this on your arm and giving you goose pimples. But it's still your own introverted sensing. Introverted feeling is something that links a lot to the external world, right? If you see your dog is dead, you're going to feel very sad, and even though your dog is outside of you. Well, thanks, Ernesto Villa. I appreciate you agreeing. I think these attempts to attribute things to external, outside, and internal, yeah, I think Acacia's right. Yeah, those introverted, extroverted words are very misleading. And I wish Jung hadn't used them. What it really is epistemics and there's like two kinds of epistemics, knowledge and deliberation, and action. There's two kinds of action, which is like turn-based action versus what you call dynamic action. But that's not a very good distinction to make, really. That's I mean, FE is communicative, like dynamic action, And TE is non-communicative dynamic action. By dynamic, I mean, when you're using extroverted intuition or extroverted sensing, you're assuming that you're going to take turns. I'm going to say these words, then you're going to reply, I'll read your reply, and then I'll reply to that. And so it doesn't really matter if I say this a little bit slower or if I say it a little bit faster, it still means exactly the same thing. In that sense, it's turn-based, right? Whereas extroverted feeling, I have to be updating it in real time dynamically. It's like, oh shit, I'm standing up here on this comedy club and I'm trying to make jokes, but nobody's laughing. This room, I'm reading the room, I'm realizing I need to change things up. I need to do something different because I'm not successfully managing the emotions of the group and their perceptions of me accordingly. So, whereas FI, in fact, what people most often say about your feelings is that you just have to sit with them, you have to experience them, you have to, sit through them or something, some kind of expression like that, right? So, I'll go get the mail. Oh, here I come to get it. Okay, I got the mail. So let's go inside so I can read this stuff again. Mood needs a visit to Egypt. I don't want to go to Egypt, thank you. My name's not Mood either. That's why SE sometimes does better NI than those with NI, etc. Well, it's like, the thing is, every function can operate in either aspect. The aspects are communicative or experiential. It's just that they're native to one. So, sometimes extroverted sensing will take the form of words. Like Trump's kind of disruptive comments in terms of like debates and stuff, that's very extroverted sensing kind of action, but it's on the extroverted intuition plane, the language plane. The point is that NI and SE are together because from an SE perspective, it's like NI is the thing that when you're sitting in the bush with your arrow, you're going to shoot a deer. When's the exact right time to let the arrow loose? Is it over there? No, you're going to wait a little while longer. You think he's going to come here. Now you think he's as close as he's going to come. So now it's the right time to shoot it. That kind of timing thing, that's NI in the SE frame. NI in the NE frame is whether something's concise, whether it's good artistically, or whether something makes sense or doesn't holistically. It includes all kinds of holistic understandings of things, archetypal understandings of things. It's mythological. You can attribute to each of these functions a kind of a logic. You could say that NI is mythological, NE is analogical. So NI mythological, NE analogical, TI is logical. FI is autological. SE is the only one that's not really logical. It's just doing shit. But FE is sociological. TE is teleological. And SI is, forget what SI is. I don't know. I came up with a list of logicals for these a long time ago, and I don't remember exactly what it is. Intuitive archery is a real branch. It's called bear bow. Bear bow? Bear bow. Sounds like a name of a child's cartoon character. I'm children's cartoon character. Bearbo. I'm Bearbo. Would you like to play? I'm going to get some skizzers. I need to do a little bit of cutting. Got these poor last few branches of Jack Herrera getting all cold outside. As in bear of aims. You don't use aims. You use your intuition and guess. Really? So like, what, you got your eyes closed and just kind of guess where you're supposed to shoot at? Are you coming outside with me, trouble? In or out, little mister? In or out? You're staying in then. Took too long to make up his mind. That's how he lost his choice. Okay. Get these branches here. There. Some branches. Now, all of it's been harvested finally. This is super late. It's got all purple because it's been so cold. But that's fine. You know, it just kind of mellows, apparently, if you leave it on the plant indefinitely. Now they're finally all harvested. I'm not even manicuring these last branches. I just manicure it after it dries, you know. Feel the firmness of the bow, the tension in the hard wood. Thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks for those evocative comments. Well, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is quite delightful. Meow, 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 meow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally say goodnight. No, I don't think technology is infinite. I think there are some hard limits. Like, I think artificial intelligence, there are hard limits to it. You're never going to have individual, general artificial intelligence. Like, every bit of human, right? They're artificially intelligencing separately. Like, this one makes pictures. This one chats with you. This one makes videos. This one makes songs. But what they will never actually be able to do is create something that has its own identity and interests, etc., because that kind of thing is necessarily both biological and metaphysical and has to be grown. It cannot be made. So, yeah, I absolutely think there are hard limits. I think another hard limit is faster than light travel. I don't believe in wormholes and magical workarounds, quantum drives, etc. Bending space-time around your spacecraft so that you go faster than light. It's just, no, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Whatever forces are powerful enough to bend space-time surely would destroy your spacecraft. So, I mean, also the other thing is, if there were faster than light travel, then there should be lots of aliens around that we actually, you know, real aliens that we actually see and meet and stuff, not that leave enigmatic, partial hints of their existence or collude with governments for some reason to hide it from people. It's just insane, right? This notion is insane. So, the thing is, I think we can rule out faster than light travel. The other thing I'd say is, as far as life in the universe, I'd say there's a 50-50 chance is what we currently know, and see whether we are unique on this planet or not. Is Lucifer the dude that went from an iPhone to a flip phone? I mean, I have a flip phone. I mean, it's a folded phone. I mean, it folds like this. I can't really show you it folding, but it's one of those, I forget what brand is it called. I guess it's Samsung, maybe. A Samsung folding phone. There's just no way to show it to you. I could show it to you in the mirror. That's what I could do. Duh, Eric. Use some technology here, like a mirror. So this is my phone. And it folds like this. So, you know, what sucked me in was in the commercial, you see these young people having fun. They're putting the phone down on this wall. They're doing tricks in front of it and stuff. And you're like, oh man, that's great. I'll just be able to put this on a wall and do stuff with it. You know what? You never find the right sized wall in the world. That's the big lie. There's never the wall that's the right height for you to set it down on in the actual world. I mean, I'm actually fortunate that in front of my house here, I do have such a wall. But that's very unusual. So, and even so, I never really use this wall in that way. And only part of the wall is the right height, really. So, like, I could put it on this wall here. Like, stand here. Hey there, I'm using my fold phone by setting it on a wall. Isn't that wonderful? But if I go over here even a little bit, like to here, now it's just like the top of my head you're going to get. So it's got to be really the exact right height. It's a beautiful day here in Mariposa, a beautiful fall day. You can see the fall colors all wettened by the snow and rain. Down here in the gully, isn't it lovely? It is. Now here's another little wall. This wall's okay. This wall's good for looking that direction. But if you're looking back at me, now you're kind of looking up like this. It's not, I'd have to squat down for it to be the right height, like this. Hello, friends. Now I'm correct height Eric, live streaming in some kind of like karate pose. Because I got to live stream like this, see, to be the right height. Or I could sit down in a chair in theory. But you know what I say about chairs? Chairs schmares. Okay, you'll be right back for real though this time. So let's go look at some more nature. It's the beauty of nature. Look, everybody, it's on the wall. And it's showing you the beauty of nature. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all those yellow leaves. And there's our hill with all of this grass that I never cut. You're kind of supposed to do that around here for fire reasons. But I kind of didn't feel like it. Okay, I just completely didn't feel like it. Got a little nubule here. Might as well pick that. There's some more nature. Got the shed down there, looking picturesque. Almost makes me want to go down to the shed. Switchboard functions are the lights outside and interest, or lights inside. No, I just don't think we should use this. I don't think the distinction extroverted and introverted means anything except ways of taking action internally or externally, and ways of deciding and knowing internally or externally. Imagine it being like this pumpkin. Each one of these lines is one of your heart motions, and this thing is your dick. Just imagine it like this. Does that answer your question? Okay. Well, obviously, we're not the most popular option today on YouTube, even though we definitely should be. But that's okay. It just makes each of those of you who are here all the more precious. I'm not going to help you, though. Nay, nay. Addy, yeah, mo. Sorry. I'm not here to help others. I am not here to help others. Okay, but quantum computing is definitely a thing. Well, yeah, I mean, lots of things are interesting. And, one hopes that fusion power actually works because they're making advances in fusion energy. They make like this, it's like as hot as the sun. And it's a matter of whether they can sustain the reaction for how long and whether. I guess they're getting it to produce more energy than they put into it, but typically that's the problem with these kinds of futuristic energy producing things is they end up not producing a lot of good energy. Like, well, a good example of an energy ideas that don't work, but should, right? So you should be able to, with the waves in the ocean and with the tides, you should be able to generate energy with buoys and stuff like that. And they've got multiple kinds of systems that attempt to do that. But it turns out to be much more of a problem than anybody would think, in part because seawater is so corrosive, because weather's so unpredictable. Things require constant repair, and the cost per kilowatt then becomes not competitive, right? I have a Texas accent. I've never heard that before. Electrozap ZLT says, I lick manure for a living. That's a strange job. Fontana, California has a hydrogen filling station on the corner of Slover and Sierra. It's a trip. Wow, cool. We're definitely not responsible for others' feelings. They must learn to independently grow in power. Well, Ernesto Villa, that's a very T above F perspective. And I get it that we're not responsible for other people's feelings, but sometimes we are, Let's say you cheat on somebody. You're responsible for their feelings. Let's not lie to ourselves. Thanks, Electrozap LT. I will try to have a nice day, and I hope you have a good day as well. The problem with big, like wind farms and stuff, there are multiple problems with them. They're relatively effective, but obviously they take a huge amount of space, and they're not really good for birds. There's this other idea that is called a heat chimney, thermal chimney, and basically it takes advantage of the fact that air is colder up high than it is down low. And if you put a tube, it'll create a flow one way or the other. I don't remember which way it is. And that's enough to turn a turbine and then produce energy. The problem is it doesn't scale up. So it works at this size, but it doesn't produce very much energy. When you try to make it bigger, it doesn't work as well. You're responsible for how you express your feelings. If someone controlling your feelings wasn't really trolling, wouldn't be a thing. If someone controlling your feelings wasn't reality, trolling wouldn't be a thing. That's true. I mean, I think we should all feel responsible for being basically good people and trying to put ourselves, at least sometimes, in other people's shoes, and try to be nice, try to be kind, because you don't know what anybody's going through on any given day. It's sometimes hard when people make us mad. I know for me, like, there was this anesthesiologist in here the other day who was trying to tell me that he said, like, Wellbutrin is basically an amphetamine. Like, Wellbutrin is not an amphetamine. He didn't say it was. He said basically it was. Like, it was similar to. I'm like, I've taken lots of amphetamines. I know that it's not an amphetamine. because I've taken plenty of them, and that's no amphetamine. Sir, you're no JFK. Anyway, the point is that he's like, well, I'm an actual doctor, so I know best. I'm like, okay, well, look, bro. Listen up, brohan. The fact is, it's not classified as an amphetamine, and it doesn't behave like an amphetamine in terms of how it feels. When you want to know how drugs are, ask people who actually take them, not people who prescribe them. And I was kind of mean to him, but I didn't feel too bad about it. I didn't feel bad about it at all, really. Later on, I was still mad at him, and I wanted to make a video saying doctors are fucking dumb. But that's what I'm talking about. I don't have to be mean. I can be nice. There's no reason for me to insult all doctors. There are plenty. Doctors are like any other group of people. It comprises individuals, and the individuals are distinct from each other. Illuminati member says, "Hey, Baba G, am I Baba G?" Mac King Cheese says, "Sometimes I put macaroni noodles in my butt." I went on a tour in Palm Springs, the wind turbines, and didn't see a single dead bird. Well, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of birds out in the desert, really. So that would probably be a good place to have them. I think that is a good place to have them. There doesn't seem to be much wildlife really out there in the skies anyway. Maybe they just killed all the birds. They've been there for a long time. They've killed all the birds already. A giant kite that holds 4 turbines and it goes way high up in the air where the wind speed increases exponentially if you have a chance. Yeah, well, okay. Things like that, right? Things like that probably don't scale. So, in other words, for one reason or another, if you try to make that as a significant energy source, it ends up being not cost effective. If Western movies have taught me anything, the only birds in the desert are vultures. Good point, Sean L. Excellent point. Nene Adiamio, God bless you too. God bless us, everyone. And let's all have a very Merry Christmas. Okay. Let's see what's on TV. See you later, Ernesto. Have a good day. I'll pop out the chat, and I'm going to see if there's anything worth watching on the TV, and then we can have a little watch party. I could change the title of this to Sporting Event Watch Party, depending on the sporting event. So let's check out the old Espen. See what the schedule says. What do we got in the mix here? At 7 p.m., we have a couple of NBA games. At 7:30 p.m., we have the Fresno State versus Colorado State football game. That should be good. 5 p.m., there's Wyoming versus Colorado State. Wait, how are they both on Colorado? Oh, that's 11/23. What's the date today? The 15th. Okay, so today's game is actually Wyoming versus Colorado State. There's also UNT versus UTSA. And there's Howard versus NCCU. At 6 p.m., wow, this is interesting. UCLA versus Washington on Fox. That'll be a good game. That'll be worth watching. Not really anything on right now, though. Well, actually, on the ACC network, Florida will play Florida State in college basketball at 3 p.m. That's coming up pretty soon. All right. Bring this up here. Are you going to watch a 27-year-old fight a 58-year-old like we did in ancient Rome? Am I ever going back to gang life? I never had any gang life. Is the energy put in versus the energy returned worth it? Blah, blah, blah. I know what you mean. Yeah, right. It's like there are various reasons, various different kinds of costs that go into different kinds of things. And it all boils down to, does it generate energy cheaper than existing ways of generating energy or close to cheaper, So does anyone think that this is going to be the last election? No, nobody. I don't think that. It's really very silly. I think to think that there's going to be an election in 4 years, as there has been every 4 years for the entire duration of the country. Even during wartime, even during there's always been an election for president. All right, why don't we look in the news to see what's going on in the world? See if there's anything worth discussing here. Take a little gander. Health stocks hit after Trump taps RFK for top regulator post. Well, pia to health stocks. Obviously, the existing involvement of the federal government in healthcare is outrageous. Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight breaks record for boxing gate outside of Las Vegas. Huh. Cardano's accumulation phase is 90 cents within reach now? I don't know. The stuff he allowed these grown men to do to this little boy is unhealthy. Suge Knight claims Diddy made Justin Bieber go on romantic vacations. Ben Affleck scared Jennifer Garner as making Jennifer Lopez flip. What does that mean? Leonardo DiCaprio is at this California rooftop restaurant every single day. I thought he was in Italy. Oh, it's a fake one. Okay. See, never mind. So Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck and they're gonna both go to dinner for Christmas together. Okay, this is just J-Lo PR shit trying to bury the Diddy link best that they can. You'll be surprised if the fight lasts more than one round. Who do you think is gonna win? You think it's gonna be Jake Paul? I don't know anything about Matt Gaetz. I'll be surprised if the fight lasts for more than one round. The color scale will continue to slide. Looking at the map of Reagan winning every state but Minnesota puts things into perspective. All right, let's see. It invites us to reconsider our notion of shadow. Laser beams can actually cast their own shadow, says Live Science. Interesting. NASA says astronaut Suni Williams is in incredible health. Wonderful. Hi, Emerther aliens. Scientists gain new insights into how mass is distributed in hadrons. Wonderful. Great news. How the brain's recycling changes with age. I get recommended these stories because I tend to click on them. I worry about dementia because my mom had it and watching her have it was horrible. It doesn't shock me at all that Trump's making bad decisions. If he in fact is, I was moderating hundreds of horrific and traumatizing videos. Sounds like a horrible story, but I'll click on it. Title's good enough to click on it. Midlife is a critical period for maintaining healthy brain function. New research reveals a changing and unexpected landscape of mitophagy across in different brain cell types during the aging process. So, for example, mitophagy levels increased in specialized mouse brain region responsible for movement as the animals aged, while in memory-related brain cells, mitophagy first rose and then sharply declined in old age. These findings identify midlife as a key inflection point for healthy brain aging, offering novel insights into the molecular mechanisms of sustained mammalian brain function. Hmm. Only recently, the tools, implications. Okay, so they keep saying like midlife is a crucial period, but they don't explain what you're like what you're crucially supposed to do or whatever. So that's kind of annoying. Okay, now let's look at this one. I was moderating hundreds of horrific and traumatizing videos. Over the past few months, the BBC has been exploring a dark and hidden world, a world where the very worst, most horrifying, distressing, and in many cases illegal online content ends up. Beheadings, mass killings, child abuse, hate speech. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. Some of what we recorded was too brutal to broadcast. Sometimes my producer, Tom Wolfenden, and I would finish a recording and just sit in silence. If you take your phone and then go to TikTok, you'll see a lot of activities, dancing, happy things, says Moja, the former Nairobi-based moderator who worked with TikTok on TikTok content. But in the background, I personally was moderating in the hundreds horrific and traumatizing videos. Yeah, it's gotta be a tough job, man. Okay, let's look here. Genetic analysis reveals role of melatonin in ADHD symptom severity. That's interesting. A new commercial model to unlock fusion energy. How coincidental. We were talking about this energy thing. Have you had any interesting typing sessions lately? I saw your 30-second typing video. Not particularly interesting. You know, typed an ISFP recently, typed a couple other people. Lately, people haven't been wanting to publish. What to know about boxing's controversial fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Oh, that's the New York Times article. Tyson slaps Jake Paul in the face during final stare down. Okay, well. The anomalous state of Uranus' magnetosphere during the Voyager 2 flyby. We've been wrong about it for nearly 40 years, new analysis shows. Suge Knight claims Obama and T.D. Jakes attended Diddy's freak-offs. What are two T.D. Jakes? The best anime of fall 2024 so far. Well, it's not great, I gotta tell you. It's better than last season, better than summer, but it's not great this fall season. How stressful events alter memories. Stress can disrupt memory and lead to needless anxiety. Here's how, I think that happened to me. I guess crypto is jumping in the aftermath of Mike Tyson recalls sharing a sex partner with friend, both dying after AIDS diagnosis. Huh, that's just strange. Mavericks is back. Maverick bombs. Watch Maverick bombs from land, sea, and air. Big waves, Mavericks. Men who are highly intelligent but lack the drive to be successful often display these 9 behaviors. Are they saying something about me here? Are they trying to say something? Okay. Oh, I gotta watch the new episode of Dan to Dan. NMDA stabilizes brain activity. What's NMDA? I've never heard of it before. Relationship advice. I caught sight of what my boyfriend's been looking at on Reddit. I'm floored. Deep sea scientists just filmed something enormous swimming over the seafloor in Chile. Okay. How the Ivy League broke America. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. China turns on the first artificial sun 120 million degrees and a strange effect. 2 California spots named among the most unfriendly cities in America. I wonder where those are. Not electric, not gasoline, not hydrogen. Ferrari shocks the world with this new supercar. Not electric, gasoline, or hydrogen. What could it possibly be? Does it run on like magnetic rail lines or something? Cannabis compound found to improve sleep. Mike Tyson gets Joe Rogan's verdict. He's gonna kill you, says Joe Rogan, I guess. Huh. The curious case of juror number 2. America's homes are piggy banks that few people can afford to raid. What does that mean? Like borrowing against your home or something? Yeah. Oh. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I think we are about ready to look at these various articles we've put into new tabs. Meghan Markle slapped in the face with pure divine justice. Trump may kick Prince Harry out of America over drug boast. Some odd reason to do anything. Okay, now let's see. Mike Tyson said the devil himself would show up Friday night and give Jake Paul a real teaching to. Okay, great. We'll find out what happens. What time does that thing start? We've been wrong about Uranus for 40 years. Let's see. New analysis of Voyager 2's data revealed likely cause of the strange reading was a burst of solar wind, not a strange magnetic field. Okay, good. Wonderful news, everybody. Wonderful news. Now we've got this article. Let's see what it says. The best anime of 2024 so far. Talk about the new government department of government. There's no such department. Why erased? I do like cats. We're about halfway through the fall season. I can confidently say it's a good crop of cartoons. Okay, pretty good, maybe. There's not a lot of great ones, though. Blue Box, I've not seen that one. 365 Days to the Wedding, I haven't tried watching it. It's a love story one. Gun Gale Online is not great. Yeah, okay, thank you. Remains one of the dumbest shows on television. I can't watch it. Negative Positive Angler is pretty fun. I like that one. It's a fishing anime. Dragon Ball Daima, forget that. I don't like Dragon Ball. Ranma One Half on Netflix. I'm genuinely shocked this reboot of Ranma One Half is so much fun. Huh. Number two, Orb of the Movements of Earth, also on Netflix. That's why I haven't watched that. Number one, Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan's pretty good. What do you think of the new COD Zombies? I don't know what that is. Eric Byvance is ass. I used to crash. I crashed so damn hard, massive headaches. I'm sorry that you have to take Vyvanse. Then, you know what you might want to do is combine it with Wellbutrin. All right, the end of this anime article. Let's go on now to the next thing. How stressful events alter memories. So, like, I've had a bad relationship with memory, which is why I'm on Wellbutrin. Let's see what it says here. Researchers have discovered how stress disrupts memory specificity, leading to generalized aversive memories, a hallmark of PTSD. Stress increases endocannabinoid release, enlarging memory engrams in the brain, which triggers fearful responses to unrelated safe situations. Blocking endocannabinoid receptors on specific interneurons restored memory precision in preclinical models, offering hope for PTSD treatment. These findings shed light on the biological underpinnings of stress-induced memory generalization and open pathways for therapeutic intervention. I think that's what I have. I think I have this thing, stress-induced memory generalization. Because in the last couple of years, I feel like, thanks, Joe, for that wonderful comment. In the last couple of years, I've really felt a horrible relationship with my memories. Like, I only remember bad memories. And when I experience those bad memories, I just say, I hate myself. Stress can disrupt memory and lead to needless anxiety. Here's how. After burning a finger on a hot pan, a stressed individual might subsequently avoid not only hot pans, but kitchen or cooking entirely. Okay. 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 Well, that's more of a, yeah. Okay. Mike Tyson recalls sharing a sex partner with a friend, both dying after AIDS diagnosis. It's an odd article. Mike Tyson is continuing to keep it brutally honest with the world and himself. Recently opened up about a romp involving a male friend and a woman who later died following an AIDS diagnosis. Shares a revelation with Rosie Perez where he explained his belief that he is divinely protected due to his peers meeting early fates. Hey, life isn't over yet. We're still fighting. We only make it out to on the day of our death. Tyson told Perez. There's no way I should be here talking to you right now. All my friends are dead. They OD'd, they had AIDS. Me and my friend both had sex with this girl at the same time, and they both died of AIDS. I didn't catch AIDS. Raw, too. Thanks, Mike Tyson, for that. That's definitely honest of you. Oh, this is Maverick stuff. Okay. That's just going to be pictures mostly. So. Men who are highly intelligent but lack the drive to be successful often display these 9 behaviors. Number 1, they're comfortable in their comfort zone. Let's face it, stepping out of your comfort zone is scary, but for most successful people, it's a necessary part of achieving their goals. However, highly intelligent men who lack the drive to succeed often prefer to stay within their known boundaries. Typically risk averse, prefer the predictable and familiar over the uncertainty of new challenges. Okay, you could say that about me. Number 2, they often procrastinate. Guilty. Number 3, they avoid competition. Not true. Not true. Number 4, they value knowledge over action. That's true. That's just true of a lot of intuitives, I think. Number 5, they lack clear goals. True. Number 6, they fear failure. Not really. I'm not afraid to fail. I fail all the time. Number 7, they're perfectionists. I'm not really a perfectionist. Number 8, they overthink. Well, maybe. I think deeply, that's for sure. Number 9, they lack self belief. I don't really lack self belief, I don't think. I don't know. I'm guilty of some of those things and not others. How about you? NMDA stabilizes brain activity. Researchers have discovered that the NMDA receptor, known for its role in learning and memory, also stabilizes brain activity by setting baseline neural network activity. The stabilization supports the brain's adaptability amid constant environmental and physiological changes. I don't even know what NMDARs are. NMDA receptor, NMDAR. Okay. So, could it be considered a comfort zone if you weren't comfy in it? I don't know. Probably not. How many of those do you have to be guilty of to count as one of those people? Roof pooper stats. Greetings, Acacia. Greetings, Sean L. Greetings, Winston's mom. Greetings, Jonathan Earl. Greetings, Sean L. Greetings, Winston's mom. And greetings, Show Media. Greetings to all of you. Hello. Great tennis match today. I don't know what you're talking about. Fantastic wonderfulness. Next, we've got deep sea scientists just filmed something enormous swimming over the seafloor in Chile. The rare footage shows the animal carrying something it won't let go of for months. A mother squid carrying her eggs through the ocean. Good for her. Okay, what's this? How the Ivy League broke America. Meritocracy isn't working. We need something new. It's not a problem of meritocracy. It's a problem of lack of meritocracy. I'm not even going to read that horrible article. I can tell it's garbage. Understanding solar energy. Nuclear fusion. Yeah. 2 California spots named among the most unfriendly cities. Los Angeles and San Francisco. All right. Good for them. Not electric, not gasoline, not hydrogen. Ferrari shocks the world with this new supercar. Ferrari, let's see, integrates a level of hybrid technology unseen before. It's a combination of an electric motor with a conventional engine. It's just a hybrid. What a misleading title. What a misleading title. Made it seem like it was operating on some new fuel. So Joe Rogan has an uncanny ability to dole out philosophical takes from real life instances, offering often profound insights that resonate with his audiences. With the highly anticipated, albeit controversial, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight on the horizon, the UFC commentator took the opportunity to honor the fighter by speaking about the determination of the veteran boxer, despite all the adversity he has faced in life. Rogan used Tyson as an example of how unfair life is, especially for people who faced him in the ring, reflecting on the 8-year-old's grit and work ethic. So his quote is not about what's going to happen in this fight. It's about fights from a long time ago. So Joe Rogan did not predict that Jake Paul was going to kill Tyson or vice versa. Experts warn Meghan Markle is finally seeing what a round of karmic divine justice looks like, and it's going to culminate into a lot of sleepless nights moving forward. Okay. Well, whatever. Trump may kick Prince Harry out of the United States over drug boast. I'm such a fucking asshole. Genetic analysis reveals role of melatonin in ADHD severity syndrome severity. New research suggests that the hormone melatonin may be closely linked to the severity of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder (ADHD) symptoms in children. A study led by Hamato University found that genetic variations affecting melatonin production could contribute to ADHD symptoms, particularly through disrupted sleep patterns. These findings highlight the potential benefits of healthy sleep routines in managing ADHD symptoms. Boring. A new commercial model to unlock fusion energy. Fusion's long road and its financial catch-22. Fusion promises endless clean energy by emulating the nuclear reactions powering stars. The catch is that fusion, unlike its fission cousin, is extremely difficult to control on Earth. Such technology demands relentless investment with deferred rewards. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but because the rewards are uncertain, Okay, well, that completes our survey of the news today. Let's see what's going on here in the chat, if anything. Abraham asks, what is the most important rule about negative rights? Don't violate them. Violating them incurs liability. That's the rule. You have high genes. How much did you smoke? Not a lot. Now I will have some tater tots. Good for you. Oh, you're saying that's me? I'm not going to have any tater tots. Thanks, Jonathan Earl. Thank you. I think I actually might wrap this up with the intent of streaming again later. So make this a short one, hour and a half. Thanks for being here. I'll see you all later. We will live stream again later. I know Rachel will want to.